going everybody, and the best is, the best that was, the best ever will be. There, but none before me, and there'll be none after me. Therefore, I am the one and only Jake Covey, and welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got an action-packed week this week with your news of the week, followed by your SmackDown and Raw reviews, and then we have a review of Backlash 2018, what I feel follows the best WrestleMania of all time. We then have your drink of the week, followed by a reading from the Book of Rules, and then your Battle Droid of the week. But let's get into the news this week. Has CM Punk's AEW return feud been revealed? Apparently so, as it is rumored he is supposed to feud with Chris Jericho. I would love to see that feud. It would be a great rebirth of their feud from WrestleMania 28. I thought these two worked very well together. Though I do wish there was more between the Elite and CM Punk, and that's actually what I feel should be happening, but apparently they have no interest in working together. Bridges haven't been mended. In fact, I feel like they've been burned to the ground, but we will need to wait and see if that does end up transpiring in AEW. And was Becky Lynch slated for a Marvel movie? Apparently before 2020, that is what was supposed to happen. She was supposed to appear at the end of a Marvel movie and was supposed to apparently be cast as a Marvel hero. I don't know what it was supposed to be. There's been no release on what movie it was supposed to be. I really wish we could have found that out, but I guess we'll have to wait and see and find out if Becky Lynch will confirm what movie it was. And finally, in sad news, Bushwhacker Butch has passed away. He was in LA and passed away right after WrestleMania weekend, so sad news for that, and as we always do, a 10-bell salute. Rest in peace. And now we move on to our SmackDown review. As SmackDown kicked off with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn said the Usos want a rematch for their tag team titles. The Usos and Solo Sikoa then came out and said there are no cracks in the bloodline. It was then announced 2 weeks from then it will be a tag team match for the undisputed titles. Right before Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. So this might be a good way for the Usos to, one, take the titles off of them, so Sami Zayn is not cleared to really enter the country at that point in Saudi Arabia, because I can't remember which country he's originally from, but, you know, whatever it is whatever it is. Apparently Saudi Arabia has talked about lifting this ban on Sami Zayn, but no talks have come from that at all, so. We then get a backstage segment where Adam Pearce told the referee to inform the Bloodline that he is offering to book Sami Zayn, or Solo Sikoa, and Matt Riddle for tonight's main event. Very cool to see that. We then get Xavier Woods versus L.A. Knight. Yeah! This was an okay match. You know, I really wish they would end this segment between L.A. Knight and Xavier Woods. L.A. Knight tried to grab the tights for Xavier Woods, but the referee saw it. Knight was angry that the referee interfered, and because of this, Woods then pinned Knight holding LA's tights. So basically it was, this feud's going to continue for a few, unfortunately. It was then announced that Xavier Woods would be challenging for Gunther's Intercontinental Championship before the draft on next week's SmackDown. So you have Xavier Woods challenging Gunther, and then the week after that, it is the draft. We then get Sami Zayn warning Matt Riddle what the Bloodline is capable of. Kevin Owens then fired up Riddle, saying the main event is going to be Solo Sikoa versus Matt Riddle. We then get Damian Priest trying to send a message to Bad Bunny, but Santos Escobar came out. Damian Priest was able to beat Santos Escobar. Kind of really diminishes Santos Escobar. He's supposed to be the leader of this new LWO along with Rey Mysterio. So you kind of wonder, what's this do for his credibility to lose to a member of the Judgment Day who is not their leader? I can see him losing to Finn Balor easily. And Damian Priest, don't get me wrong, amazing performer, but just at this point, not booked to where Santos Escobar should be booked, you know? After this, we get a backstage segment where Solo Sikoa is getting ready and Paul Heyman was hyping him up, telling him how the Universal Champion Roman Reigns called him and said that Matt Riddle is not only embarrassed, has embarrassed him, he has embarrassed the whole family. Sullivan said, "Tell the tribal chief, I got this." We then get Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez coming out to celebrate their tag team victories. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville then came out and said they are not true champions as Trish replaced Lita. They then asked why they were not being given a title match instead of Liv and Raquel. We'll see that more on Monday Night Raw. This was also Chelsea's return to WWE after being hospitalized after WrestleMania 39. So bravo Chelsea Green for making a comeback here. We then get Shinsuke Nakamura's return to WWE as he was able to beat Madcap Moss. This was also basically Madcap Moss turning heel as Shinsuke Nakamura picks up the win. Karrion Kross and Scarlett then picked out Nakamura's tarot card to signal that they are coming for Nakamura. I am excited for that feud. That could be a great feud between really clash the styles of the King of Strong style versus Karrion Kross. The mind games Karrion Kross can play versus Nakamura, and Nakamura with his in-ring style. I'm really excited for that. We think of the Viking Raiders attacking Braun Strowman and Ricochet backstage. I guess this feud is going to continue as it was kind of set before WrestleMania. It was kind of put on the back burner for the WrestleMania's men's showcase. So I guess this feud's going to continue. We then get Solo Sikoa and Matt Riddle as Solo Sikoa was able to pick up the win in a very well-fought match. It's clear that Matt Riddle has been spending his time away from WWE, one, trying to get clean in rehab, and two, working on his body and still making sure he is of in-ring capability. So awesome to see Matt Riddle coming out and performing as well as he did. The Usos then came out and tried to brawl with Owens and Zayn at ringside. After the match, Solo then slammed Riddle through the announce table and buried him under the table to end the show. So the heels stand tall, but still a fun SmackDown overall. I really don't like the Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville pairing, but that's just me. I really don't feel like they work together. They don't have the chemistry. I don't know. I don't get it. We now move on to Raw as we get the Bloodline kicking us off because the Bloodline is in your city. It was announced it would be made official as Matt Riddle and the WWE Tag Team Champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will take on the Usos and Solo Sikoa in a 6-man tag. However, the Judgment Day will take on Owens, Zayn, and Riddle in a 6-man tag in tonight's main event. I didn't feel like this should be the main event, by the way. I didn't get that. I felt like this should be a good match. I get why Owens and Zayn are there, but the rest, I felt like this should be a middle of a card match, maybe semi-main event, and try to book like the U.S. Championship match because it's a championship match, you know? I don't know. We then get Solo Sikoa versus Rey Mysterio. A very good match. The Usos tried to interfere, but the LWO stopped them. Solo Sikoa was still able to pick up the win over Rey Mysterio. Big win for Solo Sikoa, picking up a win over a Hall of Famer. Awesome job by him. It then broke down into a huge brawl. Sikoa was able to land a Samoan spike on Santos Escobar And then Jimmy and Jay were able to hit Rey Mysterio with the 1D. So that was cool to see. Very good brawl there. We then get Bianca Belair versus Dakota Kai. And in a very quick match, Bianca Belair picked up the win. And very quick match. We then get Bronson Reed backstage saying he is a Mr. Nice Guy. I don't get who the hell thought that was a good idea. And I really don't get that. I thought that was very stupid. We then get Cody Rhodes coming out dressed for a fight. He wasn't wearing his suit. He was wearing his tights and a cut-off sweatshirt. Cool to see him actually in this look. I actually like this look better than the suits, and I'm a guy who likes a good suit. Adam Pearce then came in the ring and said Cody is not medically cleared, and Rhodes refused to leave the ring. He then took a chair to the security trying to stop him. Brock Lesnar came out. There was kind of a brawl. It was made official of Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar at Backlash in Puerto Rico. I'm very excited for that match. We then get Cody Rhodes backstage telling Brock Lesnar, you are not a cowboy, you are a coward. Brock Lesnar is then shown leaving the arena backstage. We then go to The Miz and Seth Rollins in an awesome match, probably the match of the night. Seth Rollins and The Miz really gelled together. We saw that at Backlash 2018. Or no, it was 2018. Because 2019 was Seth Rollins defending the Universal Championship. That's why. Seth Rollins versus The Miz. Great match. Seth Rollins able to pick up the win over The Miz. We then get Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn backstage discussing their plans for the Judgment Day and their plans for the Bloodline of Backlash. You have Riddle kind of going a little bit heelish here, saying, I'm not a joke anymore. I'm not here just to make people laugh. I'm here to destroy the Bloodline after what they did to my best friend and my tag team partner and what they did to me. We then get Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley, which was a good match. It was okay. Bobby Lashley would actually reverse the 8-count down into a hurt lock. But Bronson Reed would interfere, costing Bobby Lashley the match. And you know what? This is actually a feud that I'm actually enjoying. This is one that I don't feel will drag out for too long. I like these two against each other. Bronson Reed getting some star power going against a former WWE champion. Besides tag team is Bobby Lashley, I believe, is 3/4 away to a Grand Slam championship besides the tag team title. So I would actually like to see that. I don't believe Bobby Lashley has won the tag team titles. I would need to look that up. Just 1 second, please. Let me see this. Bobby Lashley. There he is. Bada boom. Championships and accomplishments. Professional wrestling, Intercontinental. So he has not yet won the tag team titles. So think about this. Bobby Lashley wins the tag team titles. He is a Grand Slam champion. I believe one of the first... No, Kofi Kingston is the first African-American Grand Slam champion. Okay. But, so, very good way to get Bronson Reed into a powerful feud with the WWE champion. I believe he has been one of the more well-handled returns of WWE in the Triple H era, because while we did get a bunch of returns, none of them have been really that great. They've been lackluster at best. With the returns have been handled well after the returns have not been handled well. I think Karrion Kross is about to get his, going against a former Royal Rumble winner in Shinsuke Nakamura. Bronson Reed's about to get his great return going against Bobby Lashley. Just my opinion. We then get Trish Stratus coming out, delivering an okay promo at best. She basically talked about how she's the greatest of all time, and that there is really nothing more that she could do to prove that, and that's why she attacked Becky Lynch, blah, blah, blah. Basically your typical heelish Hall of Fame promo. We then go to one of the worst matches of the week, Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville versus Candice LeRae and Michin Mia Yim. I really wonder what their point was of bringing Candice LeRae and Chelsea Green back if they're just going to put them in segments like this. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville win. They'll get a shot at the tag team titles, I believe Friday. After the match, Chelsea threw water in Liv Morgan's face. We then get your main event as the Undisputed Tag Team title holders Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Matt Riddle versus the Judgment Day in a 6-man tag team match. Again, you know my feeling on 6-man tag team matches. This match was okay at best. Matt Riddle ends up pinning Finn Balor to pick up the win. By the way, he should have pinned Dominic Mysterio. Just my opinion. This led to a huge brawl. Bloodline comes out, the LWO. Babyfaces stand tall, and after the show, you had Kevin Owens hit. This has been going around on WWE's Twitter and everything. You had Kevin Owens hit Dominic Mysterio with a stunner. Not a great Raw. I really didn't enjoy this Raw. I watched it all, and I was just literally sitting there going, well, what the fuck is all this bullshit? To me, it was just, they were just trying to fill time, and they had matches that truly didn't belong on Raw. They could have been better for main event. There were a couple matches that I'm like, hey, that's great. The Bronson Reed and Bobby Lashley were good, but the Seth Rollins and Finn Balor and the Miz match was going to be good. We knew that one was going to be good. That was always the stealer at Backlash 2018. There was just so much shit that you're sitting there going, okay, this is good, but I want something else. I don't know. Let's move on to Backlash 2008. This follows what I truly and wholeheartedly believe is the best WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania 24. That's just my belief. But when you look at it, it's always on the list, if not at the top of the list, very close to the top of WrestleMania's greatest events. Let's kick it off with Matt Hardy versus MVP in a United States Championship match. This is when MVP was on a world record title reign with the United States Championship. He had taken out Matt Hardy a couple months before. Matt Hardy made his return at WrestleMania in the Money in the Bank ladder match to cost MVP the match. Matt Hardy and MVP would have a great match here and would actually lead to Matt Hardy taking the title from him. You would then get backstage of Matt Hardy cutting a promo and saying, he cut a promo on MVP and says, I'm better than you. This was just not a good promo. And it kind of, to me, symbolizes why Jeff Hardy was the main eventer and Matt Hardy was the mid-card ECW title holder for most of their career until Matt Hardy went and discovered the broken gimmick. Matt was just not good on the mic at this point. Just my opinion. We then get Kane versus Chavo Guerrero in a rematch for the ECW title. Kane would have won it from Chavo Guerrero at WrestleMania 24 in what was, to that time, the shortest match in WrestleMania history, of Kane basically winning a battle royal, and then Chavo Guerrero coming down. Kane's music hits. Kane 1, 2, 3 after a choke slam to Chavo Guerrero, wins the ECW title, and here we are at Backlash. More contested match. I mean, hell, Chavo throwing one punch is a more contested match than WrestleMania. Nice 8-minute match. I think these two really did work well together. These two had an okay feud for the ECW title. One, it was cool to see Kane with the ECW title at that point because they hadn't gone to the Silver Winged title yet. And it was still the barbed wire gold world championship with the cool writing on it. I thought that was cool, and I thought it matched Kane perfectly. Kane was able to pick up the win and would retain the title. We then get Big Show versus the Great Khali in a match. Yeah, yay. This would start off after WrestleMania. Big Show would be coming off this feud with Floyd Money Mayweather, and you would have Kane. You would have Big Show. This is the podcast where Jake has a stroke. You'd have the Big Show picking up the win over the Great Khali here. Less said about this match, the better. Just, that's how I feel. You would then get one of the first great matches of the night of Shawn Michaels versus Batista with special guest referee Chris Jericho, a man who has feuded with both of them who had feud with Ric Flair. The reason this feud came about at Backlash was because Batista felt that Shawn Michaels wasn't the person to retire Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24. This was a great match. Shawn Michaels and Batista really showed that these two have had great feuds, in my opinion. And Shawn Michaels was able to pick up the win over Batista with a little sweet chin music. Chris Jericho as the special guest referee was also amazing, in my opinion. Loved it. Shawn Michaels picks up the win. Good job by them. We then get 12 Diva tag team matches. Beth Phoenix, Jillian Hall, Layla, Melina, Natalia, and Victoria versus Ashley, Cherry, Kelly, Maria, Michelle McCool, and Mickie James. It's weird to see the two opposing Late Cool members. I thought that was funny. Beth Phoenix's team would pick up the win. Nothing really to write home about this match. It was okay at best, and meh. Good showcase for the women's division at the time, but I wish there was more to it. I do want to point out, though, I love the description of this, of what would happen in the aftermath on Wikipedia. It would say the evil Melina would try to attack Mickie James with her boot, but it would end up hitting Beth Phoenix afterwards and would cost Beth Phoenix the Women's Championship, leading to a triple threat match at Judgment Day for the title. So I thought that was funny. The evil Melina. So that's a little tidbit for you to go check out the Wikipedia page and read up about this match because it is funny descriptions. We then get the Undertaker defending his World Heavyweight Championship against the man he won it from, Edge, in a singles match. Now, before the match, you would actually see Undertaker mouth the words to Edge, I'm going to hurt you. I also want to point out this was the first pay-per-view called by Mick Foley, as Mick Foley would replace, I believe it was, I'm trying to think, I believe it was Jonathan Coachman on commentary. It was, Mick Foley is a great wrestler. One of the best on the mic as well. Him as an announcer just didn't work for me. I don't know why, it just didn't work. You'd have The Undertaker pick up the win over Edge in a hard-fought match. Everyone would get involved. The Edgeheads, La Familia. And you would actually have The Undertaker lock in a Hell's Gate submission until Edge tapped out, but he would not break the hold as Edge would start bleeding from the mouth. Finally, The Undertaker would break the hold, would walk up the ramp, and Edge would be led up the ramp on a stretcher with Vicky Guerrero at his side. I forgot Vicky Guerrero was a part of this pay-per-view, god damn it. The Undertaker would have the world title stripped from him because he didn't break the hold, and he would have his Hell's Gate submission banned. This would lead to a match at Judgment Day for the vacant World Heavyweight title between Edge and Undertaker. And finally, we go to your main event, as it was Triple H versus Randy Orton versus John Cena versus JBL for a fatal 4-way elimination match for the WWE Championship. This was a great match. I truly enjoyed watching this. JBL would be the first eliminated by a STFU. I love the name for that, by the way. I love the shut the fuck up is John Cena's submission move. John Cena was hot at this time. The fans loved him. Everyone wanted him to see him as WWE champion, so that was cool to see. You would then get John Cena make a JBL tap out, the 10-minute mark, and then right after that, literally right as he's sitting up, you have Randy Orton come in and punt John Cena to the head. I loved it. By the way, I gotta say how much I love Randy Orton bringing that move back in his latest WWE run. Of the fact that that the punt has become his finisher again. He hits the RKO most of the time, but when you break out the punt, it's just awesome to me. So Randy Orton would then pin John Cena, and then Triple H and Randy Orton would go on to have a 19-minute classic. Whenever these two were in the ring together, even in WrestleMania 25, it gets some backlash, they always had a banger of a match. These two had the perfect chemistry as a former teacher and a former student just going at each other. Always loved that. So great to see. Randy Orton would then go for the RKO. Triple H would reverse it in midair. They would both collapse, and then you would have Triple H hit the pedigree on Orton for the win. Another part of this match I want to point out, so Triple H would win the world title, would win the WWE Championship, and then these two would have a match at Judgment Day inside of a steel cage. The referee completely forgot there was no disqualifications and no countouts in the final elimination of this match, so Triple H and Randy Orton should have basically been a no-holds-barred match, but the referee was treating it as a just regular match. So you would hear JBL and Jerry the King Lawler on commentary like, what's the ref doing? He's an idiot. He must be locked into this match. It was always fun to hear that. That was just a little cool thing I love to hear. If I had to give this pay-per-view a grade, I would give it a B-. The Big Show and Great Khali match really bring it down. While I liked the showcase of the women's division at this time, I really feel like they could have done more with that, so that also brings this show down. But the rest of the matches are solid. And this is a Backlash they could really look at and enjoy. It's really cool to look at Backlash this month because it's usually the one that always follows WrestleMania. So that's very cool to see everyone truly get their blow-off to their feuds. Most blow-offs to those feuds come at Backlash from WrestleMania or the beginning of new feuds that will carry the show, that will carry the WWE to SummerSlam. So very cool to look at pay-per-views like this and see what happens. Whew! After that, I could use a drink. So it's time for the WWE Drink of the Week. Pirate Punch. It's delicious. 2 ounces rum, 2 ounces coconut rum, 2 ounces triple sec, 2 ounces of banana schnapps, 1 ounce of dark rum, 3 ounces orange juice, and 3 ounces of pineapple juice. A splash of grenadine. So you gotta add everything to a giant container with ice. You're gonna drizzle the grenadine, and then you're going to top it off with a layer of dark rum. So you're going to want to separate. You could use a spoon for that and simply just pour the alcohol onto the spoon, and that should create a perfect layer on top. I would recommend watching a YouTube video before you do that. Please drink responsibly. Do not drink and drive. Do not drink if you are under 21 in the United States. Do not overconsume on alcohol. And that is your drink of the week. And now a reading from the Book of Rules. A chairs match. During a chairs match, superstars are permitted to use folding chairs to strike their opponents on the body. The outcome is still determined by pinfall or submission. A reading from the Book of Rules. And now, everybody, it is time for the Bell Droid of the Week. The Bell Droid of the Week is something I referenced earlier. Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green's gimmick as the Karen of WWE has been awful. Don't get me wrong, Chelsea Green, great wrestler. I just have never liked her gimmicks. Whether it was the gimmick, I liked her gimmick in Impact of the crazy gimmick of her having the split personalities, of having the one that was crazy and the other one that was just regular Chelsea Green. I thought that was very cool. But since coming back to WWE, she has been basically meh at best. She was supposed to have a tag team with Carmella, but Carmella was taken off TV for undisclosed reasons. If it is injury, I wish Carmella nothing but the best and hope she gets well. Now, Chelsea Green. Then she gets paired with Sonya Deville, who she has no chemistry with and not really doing anything. She gets paired with Piper Niven before that, who didn't work out at all with her. Chelsea Green has just floundered since coming back to the WWE. Again, amazing talent. I think she would have been better off in NXT, not on the main roster, going after the NXT Women's Championship, since there is a void that has been created since Mandy Rose basically left the company. Indy Hartwell as a champion, I'm very excited to see it. I think Indy Hartwell is a great champion, but still, there has been a huge void created, and not one that will be filled easily. So, what do? Chelsea Green returns to NXT instead. I just feel Chelsea Green will have been better served on NXT. The main roster is not the spot for her. Raw or SmackDown is not the spot. Maybe you better just as a singles competitor. I don't know. But right now, where she is easily the Baljoy of the Week. Congratulations.
Uh-oh.
I just want to point out also, by the way, I feel that they should turn Riddle heel and have him cost them the match at Backlash and set up a feud with Sami Zayn as, hey, you're the one who helped injure me and take Randy off of the card since basically you were part of the bloodline. That's the way I feel about that one. I should have put that in earlier. But thank you very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 98, which means we have 99 next week, and then after that, we are on our 100th episode of Wrestling Made Simple. I just can't believe it. So maybe something special for episode 100. Awesome to see. Thank you very much for listening. I've been the big guy. This has been Wrestling Made Simple. Please enjoy wrestling this week, and have a great week. I'll see you guys next week with another Backlash review as we are in Backlash month. Thank you very much for listening.